Mister.
Hey everyone, Miss Dempsey here. This is a guide for round 5 of the Nations Cup, and I'll be using the Peugeot RCZ rally car. Let's get this started. Your first braking point is before the 150 meter mark. Brake in a straight line, then slowly ease off of the braking. You want to try to get your car to rotate so then you can start to get on the throttle as soon as you can. Under rainy conditions, you want to get your car to slide as little as possible and to get the tires to spin as little as possible so you don't have to worry about losing too much time. For this turn, you want to brake just after the curb on the left starts. Once again, brake in a very straight line, then slowly ease off of the braking. Try to nail the apex in this one and be very careful with the throttle to make sure that the wheels don't spin. I have the torque distribution set to 45-55, so the car is pretty stable. You just want to make sure that the wheels don't spin too much. Then brake right around where the curb on the left starts. This is a very tricky turn as you'll be braking downhill and it's very easy for the car to slide as you see here. Try to get as close to the apex as you can and be gentle on the throttle. And once you get the car pointing to where you want to go, you can then start to fully accelerate. Then brake immediately after you pass the 100 meter mark on the right. And once again, this turn goes a bit downhill, so you want to be very careful and try to make sure the car slides as little as possible. For this turn, you want to brake right here, which is before the curb on the right ends, and it's all about trying to get the car to rotate and making sure that the car doesn't slide too much. If you're using the torque distribution that I'm using, you can be a tiny bit more aggressive with the throttle and get the car going a bit faster. Then start to brake before you reach the 100 meter mark, and braking right here will get you a nice and safe entry into the turn, neatly hitting the apex and slowly accelerate. Then for this final turn, start to brake before the red and white stripes on the left end. This is also another downhill turn, so you want to be very gentle with releasing the brake and applying the throttle. Get the car to rotate, then go full throttle once you're pointing towards the start finish line and you are good to go. Let's go ahead and talk about strategies. For this race, you don't need to worry about going to the pit stop. All you need to worry about are the tires and the fuel, but for the fuel, you'll need to do a bit of short shifting and a bit of adjusting on the fuel mapping to make sure that you last all 15 laps. The thing is that you start with a little bit under the 15 laps, so you want to try to stretch out that fuel life to make sure that you don't have to go into the pit stop to refuel. As for the tires, you just want to be careful with them. Try to slide as little as possible, as that'll get more and more wear on your tires, and that's going to affect you in the later half of the race. And it's going to be a little harder to avoid that, especially when you're getting a whole bunch of slipstream from the cars ahead of you. So when you approach a braking zone, you want to brake a little bit earlier and just try to be very smooth with your inputs to make sure that the car doesn't slide. And I know this doesn't relate to pit stop strategy, but you just want to be careful with the traffic around you, because it's really easy to slide around and accidentally take someone out who happens to be next to you. So just know where your opponents are, try to respect them, try to give them a bit of space, and just be careful around them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So to quickly recap this, a no stop is possible. Take care of your tires, try to slide as little as possible, brake a little bit earlier when there's opponents ahead of you, and adjust your fuel mapping, short shift for the first half of the race, and you should be good to go. And that's pretty much it. But before I go, I know we have about 9-10 more days before this race happens, along with the manufacturer race. So I highly suggest that you start practicing the strategy along with whatever strategy I talk about for the manufacturer race if you're in it. And that way you enter the race, you feel confident, you know what to do, and you kick some serious butt. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Non-commentary versions coming up. This is Mr. MCA, wishing you a good race, and I'll see you in the next video.